Good evening and welcome to Collector Cars. I'm Lance, your host. Believe me, folks, you have no idea what it's been like in the studio. I'm exhausted. We haven't started the show yet. Am I right? Am I telling the truth here?
Started
he's
a half
on
hour
your
ago.
right.
Yes.
He's. I know. Am I? No, he's
Who's
right.
on first?
Yeah. This is what it's been like. Mr. Bill Trier.
Lance, I'm always glad to be back and lower your ratings for the evening.
Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate it. Can you go lower than last place?
We try to get it there.
Mr. Mergens.
Good evening. Good
How
evening.
you doing?
I'm doing good. Doing good.
All right. You know the kind of week that this started out to be. You know, I had 3 film clips and just completely boogered them up. I mean, I don't even know what I did with them. Then we get ready to go tonight, and Bill is going, hey, that's not the right car. So they're running through the clip to see what I messed up there. I don't know. It's just, there's not a whole lot between the ears anymore.
Well, thankfully tonight we're going to be seeing Buick, so when in doubt, just say Buick.
Just say Buick.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, and I'll tell you what's neat about this is you don't see a whole lot of Buicks, you know, coming to like the monthly type shows. And we've got from Terry Lewis, our Rocky Mountain reporter, some great stuff from the Buick Nationals out there, yes?
Yep.
We've got this clip and another one coming. We've got all sorts of stuff. Some more stuff from John Graham up in the New England area and everything. It's, I mean, just good stuff. But here, I want to get to Bill Trier because I want to ask him some questions. We are now going to do the Trier's Trends.
Trier's Trends.
That's right.
Don't blame me what's happening with the market.
Well, they're going to hold you to this.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Everything I say is etched in stone anymore, so you know, why should you be any different? Here we go. What is happening in the markets, the classic car markets? What changes have you seen in the last couple of months?
Well, there have been good changes because, as we all know, the last year and a half, it's been kind of mushy on some of the pricing on these cars. The values haven't gone away, but just the prices have been down in the cycle. But this last 2 months, there's been a lot of activity with people buying cars, looking for cars. I've been getting a lot of pre-buy inspections, which were way down.
And that's
a trend where it's starting to go, and it's in all price ranges of cars. So it's coming up.
Which indicates there's more buyers now. They're starting to loosen up. It's like, you know.
Well, that confidence, like they're talking about in the other sectors of the economy, it's starting to come back into our hobbies.
Now, here's another question. What price ranges are, in other words, are your high-end cars selling now versus your low-end cars? Is it a mix? Is it, where do you see the biggest changes?
Both the groups. And when I say both the groups, we talked before about the 50,000 and under cars that those were really the hardest ones to sell. And the ones that were up above that, and 100,000 and up, somebody wanted one, they were still buying them, maybe not as many as before, but both those groups are increasing.
And the high dollar stuff has held its value and really has been less affected than, say, the 50,000 and below.
Right, the reason being that those cars are rare. They're usually the top of the line cars. If you're looking for one, it's harder to find that particular kind of car. Whereas you get to the 50,000 below, you're looking for a certain car, you can probably pick up a bunch of magazines and find in a 100-mile radius 10 or 20 to go look at.
See, this is good news. I won't have to borrow as much as I thought from you.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, even Camaros are starting to come off the bottom.
Really?
Yeah, those are the low price ones. Oh, you have a Camaro, don't you?
Oh,
I do, Bill.
Yes. My daughter's wanting a classic car. He's talking her in. She has pulled up on the internet now 369 Camaros.
We're going to find one.
And one of them's yellow.
All right.
I told her, absolutely not. No, but she is looking at them, and I'll tell you, it's like you say, things are starting to clip a little bit. Now, here's another big thing. What types of cars seem to be, you know, showing the most interest with the buyers? Is it antiques, muscle cars? What's the big seller?
Okay, that again goes across the board. Some of the old brass cars, muscle cars, street rods, modifieds.
So we're talking a wide variety.
Right, it's not any certain group of them.
Okay.
The ones that are still probably a little harder to sell are the more common cars. You know, that there's too many on the market still, but even those are starting to come up some. But if you got something that's different, especially you get into oh,
he says 69 Camaro, he's in trouble.
Well, we already mentioned that, yeah, and also those 79 Trans Ams.
Yeah.
You know, but No, but if you
Hey,
take,
I'm going to get a referee for you too. You were fighting last time over the stuffed animals.
you know, one car's a really nice, neat little car for a beginner or somebody that's just new into the hobby and wasn't getting a lot of money. A 65, 66, six-cylinder Mustang coupe. You know, they're not going to bring a lot of big bucks, but there's a lot of them on the market. So
Right.
That
And that obviously affects
That
the
affects the
pricing
prices.
and so forth.
Sure.
And it's a good way to get into the hobby.
right, you can get
know.
some nice ones for a reasonable
My daughter
price.
just found a 73 convertible Mustang. Very, very nice, red with a white top, sitting next to the yellow Camaro. We're working on it.
You know, when you get into the cars like the resto rods and the street rods and the hot rods, again, you're getting into a market there of people that they are looking for something that's really different. And of course, every one of those cars is different.
Something
You're not
unusual.
going to find a duplicate. And that can be a two-edged sword, you know, because
Right.
you've got to get somebody that wants that type of car with that engine, that color scheme, those kind of bucket seats or whatever. But on the same token, it's an individual type of car because you go buy one and you're not going to see yourself coming to the show 5 times over. You know,
Right.
you're going to have something really different. So those cars do
We
very
have
well.
been seeing a lot of new cars, different cars coming into the shows now. So I know they're buying and selling and swapping and trading and whatnot going on. So this is now a better time than the last few months to sell a car or to buy a car?
It's getting better to sell a car because if especially you've got something that's kind of unusual, not a run-of-the-mill car, something that's you're going to get more money, and the buyer's market is going to start going away over a
Going
period
away.
of time where it's going to
See,
go
now
back
last
to normal.
time you told us it was definitely a buyer's
It's
market.
still
at that
pretty much a
time, but now
buyer's
it's
market, but you're going to pay more, a
turning
little bit more
around.
now. These people are not dropping prices like they
Like
did,
they were.
and the dealers now
Right.
are starting to sell more
Right.
with the collector cars, so they're keeping them up.
Where do you find, what, in your opinion, is the best place to advertise a classic car for sale?
People ask me that a lot, and you know, because we got Keels and Wheels and those kind of magazines locally. That's great, you know, for that too. Local newspapers don't do well. For
We're
not much-
talking internet.
No, local newspapers.
No, I'm
aren't.
saying we're talking.
But to sell them,
Your
go
internet.
go where you can go national. Go to the internet. The publications and Hemmings, of course, is always a good
Yeah.
publication for that. Yeah, the ads are going to cost you more, but then you're going to get more market. You're going to get more people. And another thing I found with the people that are starting to buy more cars, it is not just here in the States. The international market is increased too.
Big time.
I've done 4 pre-buy inspections for out of the country
Yeah.
people this last week and a half.
You
So-
know, the internet, years ago, people were afraid even to put their credit card on the, give their credit card out over the internet. I know I was. Then it was, oh, now you got to give the 3 numbers on the back. Well, that's your security. So people were leery. But now, even huge car deals on the internet are just, an everyday occurrence. You just have to take the proper precautions to know. Which, incidentally, why don't you do a little research on that, and let's, maybe another show, we'll talk to the people about what's the correct way to go about purchasing a vehicle on the internet without winding up with a hunk of junk being delivered in your driveway and you go, oh my gosh,
Yeah,
there goes my life
There are
savings.
safeguards, and again, for using a credit card, I take credit cards a lot in my business, but I do them only through PayPal.
Yeah.
That way it protects both ends.
Protects both ends.
I don't even have their number, but that's a good venue because you've got a lot more security going that way than just giving somebody numbers over a phone.
All right. Very good. Thank you. I appreciate it. That is some very good information. Let's jump to Mr. Terry Lewis, our Rocky Mountain reporter, who has gone to the Buick Nationals. 67 Wildcat convertible from Kansas. Now, I don't have all the information on all these cars, but I got enough to get us by. That's sweet. I like that. That is a big car.
That is a big car.
Yeah, man.
And you know another thing on these convertibles and Buicks and the Cadillacs and so forth, now the big ones are becoming very popular and going way up in value.